Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm testing out a new mic system today, so I'm pretty happy I finally got an external mic for the Insta360 One RS. It's a Synco, it's wireless, actually came with two transmitters and one receiver. I'm hoping that that'll make the audio a little clearer in the studio and out on the trail. Pretty happy to have found this kit under $100, and it seems to be pretty high quality so far. I've been really pleased. The lav mic especially is really pretty decent. The mic that's built into the transmitter is a little less so, but that'll probably be what I use on the trail. Just I'm not sure I want to bring the lav mic and risk losing it on the trail. So at any rate, it's bound to be better than the internal mics. So I'm pretty happy to have gotten that set now. And so yeah. Welcome back. Glad to have you here. Today's video, I'm going to talk about hygiene on the trail. I'm going to go over the gear that I use, how I use it, some tips and tricks that I've learned over the years, a couple of things that I've changed over the years to make it a little less complicated. I'm just going to address a couple of leave no trace principles that apply to hygiene specifically. These are really important. You want to stay away from water sources when you are cleaning, when you are defecating, anything like that. So it is a priority to not contaminate water sources. If you're washing dishes, you can use your drinking water bottle and pour water into your dirty dishes and take it away from the water source. Also, very, very important not to pee or dig your cat hole anywhere within 200 feet of a water source. I would try not to dig your cat hole uphill from a water source, because the next time it rains, it's going to just wash all of that down into the water source. So 200 feet away and in a spot that observe the landscape and try to pick a spot that's not going to just get washed into the water source the next time it rains. And also, I'll talk about the dogs. What I do with the dogs is when they poop, I will either take a stick or some rocks, and I'll actually I'll relocate the poop into a cat hole that I dig. If it's a long way and there's no sticks and no rocks to move it with, then I do pack doggy bags, and I could use one of the doggy bags to pick it up and then put it in a cat hole, and then put the doggy bag in my trash and pack it out. I kind of just wanted to go over the leave no trace stuff before I show you all my gear and stuff, but like it's super important to just know not to dig your cat hole within 200 feet of a water source. Don't dig it uphill from a water source where it's going to wash down into it. And also just don't bury your toilet paper. I still see so many websites online that say, yeah, if it's biodegradable or compostable toilet paper, just put it in the hole and bury it. And maybe that's okay. It still takes a decent amount of time for compostable toilet paper to biodegrade. It's going to be there for a long time anyway. And so what I have it's just sort of my philosophy now to pack it out. Don't bury toilet paper. What I do with toilet paper and feminine hygiene products is I put them in a doggy bag. Usually doggy bags are not clear, they're opaque, and so you're not gonna see it. You can tie a little knot in it like you normally would if you were using it on a dog walk. And then you can put that in an odor-proof Ziploc bag to seal in the odor. Climbed Mount Whitney, I had to carry my own shit the entire trip because those are the regulations there. You have to use a wag bag there, and I honestly didn't smell it until we were pretty much almost back to base camp, so or back to Whitney trailhead. So it's not that big of a deal. It's really not. Also, I will just say that like cat holes are supposed to be 6 to 8 inches deep and 4 to 6 inches wide, and the vast majority of people out there don't do that. They don't dig it as deep or as wide as it should be. So again, if TP is buried in there, it just ends up getting washed out or dug up. So definitely try harder to dig deeper holes, but I think, again, just in the end, pack the toilet paper out. Don't bury it. Don't even bother burying it. I'm going to show you my gear, and I'll talk you through it, and I'll share with you some tips and tricks that I've learned over the years, and some gear that I've changed up. All right, so first up is brushing teeth. Quite some time ago, I switched from toothpaste, the little travel size toothpaste, to carrying tablets. Lots of different kinds out there. They all work about the same. You just chew them up and it creates a paste in your mouth, and then you brush your teeth and you spit it out like you normally would. It's a little bit lighter weight and it fits great in these pill pockets that I got. And then toothbrushes. A lot of people will cut off the handle of a regular toothbrush. You know, I guess if you have the tools to do that, that's great. I don't have a saw or anything, so and I've so far been completely unable to just break my regular toothbrushes. But these little 4-inch toothbrushes you can actually get off minimus.biz. These weigh 0.2 ounces. Works fine. It's nothing fancy, but it does the job. And then just this year, I actually ordered something from Garage Grown Gear, and they threw this little bitty thumbprint toothbrush in my box for free. And so I've decided that I'm going to take this instead of my 4-inch toothbrush on the trail this season, only because it fits in my little pill pouches, which makes it a little bit easier to fit. I carry my toothpaste tablets and my toothbrush in my first aid kit, which is in an odor-proof bag. And so it's just easier to throw this in my first aid kit. Some of the complaints about it were that it's so short, you have to stick your fingers inside your mouth to use it. I don't really think I'm gonna have an issue with that. I like it, fits in my little pill pouch, and I can put both of these little bitty packets in my first aid kit. And this toothbrush weighs 0.1 ounce in the Ziploc pill pouch. All right, so moving on, let's talk about how I stay clean on the trail. I use these little travel packages of wet ones, and they weigh 2.5 ounces for a full travel size package. And this will be more than enough to last me on this 2-week trip. There's 20 wipes. What I will do is, in my tent in the evenings, I will just wipe my whole body off with these wet ones. And I do get the unscented ones. Generally speaking, I try to get as much unscented stuff as I possibly can, but everything still ends up having some scent to it, even if it's considered unscented. So these I do put in a OPSAC odor-proof bag at night when I store my food and my smelly items. Even if you don't think it smells, it probably does have some kind of scent to it. And you don't want any kind of smell that will attract wildlife to your campsite overnight. I have used these for many years. I like them. They actually make me feel clean, and it also doesn't make me feel greasy after using them. So I really like these. This is what I use for basically bathing when I'm on the trail. And then I also bring a little 2-ounce bottle of hand sanitizer. I keep this in my bidet bag, and I'll use it at other times on the trail as well, but generally speaking, it's with my bidet bag. And then let's talk about these. These are pee rags. I started out using, this one was made by Wonder Woman Gear, wonderwomangear.com. I like this one a lot. The loop is nice, and all of that. I've used this for several years, and it's just now starting to come unraveled at one of the seams. But yeah, I've used this for a long time, and so this outer side is like a quick drying material, and then this underside is antimicrobial. And obviously this is the part you would use to wipe with. You would handle it from, what I always did was I handled it from the loop. and wipe with the inside. And then what you would do is you would hang it somehow on the outside of your backpack and let it dry while you hike, and the sun kills bacteria and all of that. And then this year I actually switched to a Kula cloth. Those are gaining popularity now, and I can kind of see why, because they're smaller, they're lighter weight. You have a loop up here where you can hang it to your pack or hang it to a tree to dry when you're at camp. And it's kind of cool because you can unsnap this loop and then put it around something and then snap it. Unlike the Wonder Woman gear one, which is just a non-removable loop that you would have to just hang on something. This you can actually snap around something, which is kind of nice. I mean, I definitely will use this on my backpack to connect it to my backpack instead of needing to use a carabiner with the Wonder Woman gear one. This snaps and makes the loop. And then this is the side that you would wipe with. This is antimicrobial. Has a little reflective strip right there so you can see it in the dark. If you've got it hanging in a tree and you get up early in the morning and you want to find it, that'll help you find it with your headlamp. When you hang it on your backpack, you can fold this up if you want to be discreet, if you don't want it touching stuff, and you can snap it like that. But in general, I love these things because you can use these instead of toilet paper and then hang them on the back of your pack and let them dry while you're moving. It's lightweight, it's very convenient, and I've never had any issues with UTIs or anything like that. So this is, again, the Kula cloth. I'll put links to all this stuff in the description. And then I mentioned that I don't use toilet paper anymore, but I do still bring some. This is TP to go. You can buy it at minimus.biz. It comes in this size, just a dinky little travel size. The sheets are pretty thin. I don't know what ply they are, but you know, it does the trick. And when I do use it, I pack it out. I don't put it in my cat hole. And then this little thing is an amazing little piece of gear. This is called the Deuce of Spades. Way back when, you could get these at thetentlab.com. I don't know if that's still accurate or not. Made in Colorado. This little thing, 0.6 ounces, and I keep this in my bidet bag. What I'll do is after I dig a cat hole, if there's still dirt and stuff on it, then I'll just like wipe it off on the grass and then stick it back in my bidet bag. The only thing this is going to touch is dirt. You dig your cat hole 6 to 8 inches deep, 4 to 6 inches wide. You do your business, and then you fill the cat hole with all of the soil that you dug out. Cover it with some loose leaves or rocks nearby. And something that I always do as well is if there are sticks just laying on the ground, I will take a couple of sticks and lay them across it, just to kind of give the hint that that hole has already been used. And so others won't try to dig there. But generally speaking, you just use natural things and the dirt that you dug out and to fill it all back up and cover it up, tamp it down a little bit. And that's it. Just make sure you dig it 6 to 8 inches deep and 4 to 6 inches wide so that nothing washes out of it or that animals can't dig it up or won't want to dig it up. And so the last thing that I wanted to talk to you about is the bidet. And over the years, I've changed what I pack and how I use it. I started with this Medline cleansing bottle. This is what I've used for years now, just on its own. You can see you can see in the top, it has 4 holes in the top, and it does spray very well. Like, it has a pretty decent stream to it. What could have made it better is if the holes were in the side so that, you know, when you reach down and you use it, you don't have to like try to squirt up. Typically, I don't put that much water in the bottle anyway. So if all the water is at the bottom, then you're not going to get any to squirt out. And so that has always been an issue, to somehow have it pointing down, but yet pointing in the right direction to work. So that has always been an issue, and I've made it work, but it's always been kind of complicated. So then some time ago, a couple years ago, I found these, and these are portable bidets, and they're designed to press down into a normal water bottle, like smart water bottle. You just press it down into the top of the bottle and use it like that. And that's great. I don't normally carry an extra bottle like this for my bidet. I know some people use their drinking water bottles. I know it doesn't touch anything, but I still can't bring myself to do it. So I like to have a dedicated bidet bottle. So what I have actually discovered is that you can put this, you pull, the other nice thing about this Medline cleansing bottle is that you pull the nozzle up to open it, and then you push it down to lock it. And when it's in the lock position, it does not leak. So I could leave water in it, put it in my bidet bag, and have it not leak all over the place. And so I've really liked that about this bottle. So what I decided to do for this season is that I'm gonna use this bidet cap, and I'm just gonna put it over the nozzle, because it doesn't fit inside this bottle, right? The bottle is too small for what this is made for, but it does fit over. Now I have this bottle where, you know, the nozzle is pointed the direction that it needs to be. I can actually have it tilted down so that the water can come out. And the nozzle is still pointing the right direction. And so this is going to be my setup for this season, and together with the cap and the Medline cleansing bottle, it weighs 1.4 ounce. What I want to show you also is I bought this a couple weeks ago. This is called the Holy Hiker. This was actually made by a backpacker, and it's just this little bitty piece. And I don't know if you can see it in the video. There's an arrow on the top that's pointing in the direction where the nozzle, the holes are. But there are 4 holes right there. Little washer right there. So you would just stick this in the top of a smart water bottle or similar sized cap. What I have noticed, it does get easier the more times you do it, but it's pretty tough to put in there. And I just don't know if I want to struggle with it, you know? So that was the first thing that I didn't like about it. But the second thing is, I did get it on there, and I have tested it, and I love the stream. The stream is great. However, if you left water in the bottle, and it got tipped upside down, then water is going to leak out the holes, the nozzle holes. Because all you got to do is tip it, and once water is in this cap, it comes out the holes very easily. So I wouldn't be able to leave water in the bottle, and I don't normally carry a smart water bottle with me for a bidet, and I'm not sure I want to pack one. I don't know. It seems kind of silly actually, but like, I guess the biggest reason why I don't want to use this is because it's so difficult to get the cap in the bottle. I just feel like I would be fidgeting with it forever, and because the water just very easily comes out the holes if it gets tipped upside down if you leave water in the bottle, which means if you don't leave water in the bottle, then you're going to have to be taking this cap on and off every time, and I can't get it in very easily. So I just feel like this would be a really frustrating thing for me. I love how small and lightweight this is. This only weighs 0.2 ounces. It's such a neat, clever little thing, but I just don't think I can use it for the reasons that I just mentioned. So This is gonna stay home this season, and I'm sticking with the Medline bottle. The other reason why I like the Medline bottle is because the bottle itself is pretty sturdy and it doesn't crinkle when you squeeze it like these smart water bottles do. Like, I don't want to listen to this when I'm doing my business. This is just so much quieter. It doesn't weigh that much more. I can pop this off and stick it in the bidet bag, close that, and it doesn't leak, and I can leave just a tiny bit of water in there every time. I don't have to pour it out after every time. So yeah, this is my new bidet system. So I'm just going to show you, first of all, this is what I had been using, just the Medline bottle. There's just over 4 ounces of water in here, and so you don't need that much water to do the job. But I just want to show you, see, I can lock that lid and turn it upside down and it does not leak. But I'll just show you how it works without the bidet cap. You pop this open, and then, I don't know if you can see that or not. Maybe this is the best way to do it. There's a good stream there. I mean, it's made to cleanse things, but again, you have to have it tilted down to get it to really come out, and then you're pointed the wrong direction because the holes are on the bottom of the cap. So now let me show you how it works with the addition of this thing. All right, so we got some more water in there. The cap is open, so I can just slide this over the top of the cap, and now it's pointed the right direction. And I don't want to get the camera wet, but the stream is still strong. And I actually like that the stream is more concentrated into one stream instead of 4 little streams. I don't know if you can see that. Some of the reviews said that when you squeeze the bottle, it pops off. I've never had that happen. And I'm squeezing pretty hard. Oops. So yeah, this is my new system. For those of you who are not convinced that a bidet is going to be sufficient, if you're worried that it's not going to completely clean you, there's a trick that actually is really effective. And that trick is that before you go, you actually squirt a couple of squirts, and that helps everything come out very cleanly. And then you clean after you finish again, and that's all there is to it. You can use a designated towel to pat yourself dry if you wanted to. You could drip dry. However, do not use your pee rag as a dry rag back there, even if you're clean. I just wouldn't risk it. That's a good way to get a UTI. But you can use, bring 2 Kula cloths if you wanted to. They're light enough. There are ways to do it. I typically just drip dry. I definitely would not go back to using toilet paper. I don't typically have a lot of toilet paper waste that I'm packing out now, and I like that. And I feel cleaner with using the bidet. It's easy. If you think that you might want to try it at home before you go out backpacking. See what you think. Highly recommend giving it a shot. Anyway, that's it. Then what I would do with this is I would lock the cap down. I may or may not leave a little bit of water in it. And I would take the bidet top off. And then this is my bidet bag. Got my little bit of TP that I barely ever use. I've got my trowel in there, and I've got my hand sanitizer in there, and I'll drop my little bidet cap in there, and I'll put my bidet bottle in there. I bought a 5x7 tarp, and this is the stuff sack that it came in. So I just repurposed it, draw it up tight at the top and close it. And then I pack this in the top side pocket of my backpack, and then, when I need to do my business, then I take my pack off. I just grab this whole bag, take it with me, and I'm good to go. That's it, I think. And I'm trying to do as many of these videos, these sort of how-to helpful videos as I can before I go out this season. But if there are specific ones that you want me to do, be sure to drop them in the comments. I think the next one I'm planning to do is about clothes that I pack. So stay tuned, watch for that one coming soon, probably next week, and we'll catch you next time. Thanks, be safe, take care. So I did leave out one thing that I wanted to talk about, so I'm just going to add that real quick. Feminine hygiene products, definitely pack those out. You definitely do not ever want to bury those in a cat hole. You do want to eliminate in a cat hole, but as for the products themselves, you can use a doggy bag. It's opaque, you can't see through it. You can tie that up and put it in an op sack, which is odor proof, seal that odor in and pack it out. I think that's it. That's pretty much it. Thanks.